Hi everyone, thank you for joining me today to learn about portfolio road mapping and project management in Jira for everyone. Before I start, I just wanted to thank Patrick and his team at Trundl for their great work when organizing first JiraCon event and giving me an opportunity to speak here. Let me quickly introduce myself. I'm Nikki, co-founder and product manager at Jigsaw. Jigsaw is an Atlassian marketplace partner that helps teams prioritize, plan, and track their work in Jira. Before me and my co-founder Biro started Jigsaw, I was working in a company that was focusing on project management and delivery and developing AI-driven project management platforms. Here I learned a thing or two about project management that I then further used while running our own company. In this presentation, I will be mainly focusing on road mapping, and I'll do a short demo of one of our Jira apps, Swanley. If you would like, you can visit our booth here at JiraCon, where we can talk about our other apps, project management, or anything related really. We will be also giving a discount codes for our products, so do pop in if you are interested. In this talk, we will have a look at how to plan projects in today's Agile world, differences between Gantt charts and roadmaps. We will cover how to build a roadmap in theory and then building roadmap using Swanley and Jira. And finally, we will have a look at the key differences between Swanley and advanced roadmaps. Project management as a concept is old. A good example is the Great Pyramid of Giza. Ancient records say that there were managers overseeing the completion of each of its 4 phases. And same comes for Great Wall of China. Although there has been some type of project management since our early civilization days, project management in the modern sense started in the 20th century with invention of Gantt chart, critical path method, and foundation of Project Management Institute in early 60s to help promote project management as a profession and help to develop common project management terminology and techniques. However, the 21st century brought a more lightweight approach to managing projects with a rise of agile methodologies. Instead of waterfall project management, planning and scheduling every single activity of the whole project before it starts, it's now becoming more and more common to align teams on the project mission and give them autonomy and freedom to plan and deliver work themselves. It's all possible with the help of frameworks like OKRs and restructuring teams from single function departments to cross-functional teams. However, this creates a new set of challenges. First of all, using some of the old project management tools like Gantt charts can lead to over-planning and micromanagement. Instead of giving teams autonomy, we sit them down, create their work schedule, estimate the work, and then expect them to be creative and accountable. If you handhold and micromanage your team, you can't expect them to feel an ownership and make their own decisions when the time comes. Key to managing cross-functional teams to deliver the project is to align them on project vision, define a high-level plan with milestones or initiatives if you like, and when everyone is aligned on mission and high-level plan, teams can make decisions themselves. It's important for teams not to close themselves into a team bubble, but to communicate with others and give clear updates on their work progress. Managers, on the other side, focus on the high-level plan and oversee the delivery and help teams when necessary. The key here is to have the right communication tools that don't encourage micromanagement but serve as a platform that teams and managers can use to communicate. Easily said, but hardly done, right? Let's have a look at Gantt charts, one of the oldest tools of project management, and roadmaps, their younger sibling. A Gantt chart is a project management tool in the form of a bar chart that displays a detailed schedule of tasks. Or in other words, a Gantt chart helps cross-functional teams understand the work required of them and the order in which tasks should be completed so they can move on to the next stage of the project. A Gantt chart is basically useful for setting up a detailed plan on how the team will complete a project. To give you an example that you're all familiar with, advanced roadmaps are a Gantt chart. You clearly see the key initiatives, scheduled tasks, and create different versions and what-if scenarios of your project plan. Now, don't get me wrong, Gantt charts aren't for waterfall projects only. While there may be simpler ways for visualizing Agile projects, Gantt charts can be used in Agile too. However, the way Gantt chart present and track project plan easily encourages micromanagement. And that can ultimately kill your autonomous teams, as I talked about earlier. While using Gantt charts, we often tend to schedule from the initiative level to the single task level, which means that the plan soon becomes outdated and therefore they are hard to maintain. On the other hand, there are roadmaps. A project roadmap, when done right, gives you a high-level overview of project initiatives and milestones. It's basically a bird's-eye view of a project that helps align everyone, from teams to managers and stakeholders, on project's key milestones and progress. There are different ways to visualize roadmap, but one of the most popular ones is timeline roadmap. Similar to Gantt charts, timeline roadmaps allow you to plan key activities on the timeline and create a high-level project schedule. They are a great way to align everyone on priorities and key dates and milestones. As opposed to Gantt charts, timeline roadmaps are often high-level, helping to communicate the project strategy in the simplest way possible. Great example of roadmaps is the Jira project roadmap, where you can easily plan high-level initiatives, aka epics. So to sum it up, key benefits of having a roadmap for your projects are that it helps you quickly communicate project plans and goals. Project roadmap is a high-level visual document. This makes it easy to quickly share important information to stakeholders and other teams. It also helps you manage stakeholders' expectations by setting goals, budget, timeline, and so on early on. That way, everyone is on the same page from the get-go. Roadmaps also help make decisions. Everyone in your project team can refer to project roadmap, where they can see the most important goals and activities, which will help them to prioritize tasks and make decisions quickly and themselves. And finally, if your roadmap is up to date, it's a great tool for status updates. So how can we go about creating our own roadmap? Before creating the roadmap itself, there are a few activities that need to be done beforehand. One great tool that you can use is a Project Canvas template. Project Canvas helps you define goals of your project, budget and resources, time in which this project should be completed, who is your customer, and finally you will identify key milestones and initiatives as well as potential risks. If you would like, you can jump to our Jigsaw booth and download this Project Canvas template so you can use it for your next project. Once you identified your goals and strategy together with key milestones, you can start creating your own roadmap that you can then expand to the plan. One important point while creating the roadmap is to give ownership. Make sure that it's clear who is responsible for which initiative and that they have a right team to execute it. Roadmap then can be used as a key document during your project kickoff meeting, and teams can use it to expand it into the plan. So this was all great theory. Let me now show you how you can create a roadmap in practice in Jira and Swanley. The thing about Swanley is that it's not just a Jira roadmap. It's a roadmap timeline with a list view that is similar to Jira Gantt chart and a report view that you can access for drilled down information about activities progress. I have this business project canvas here that I used with my team to define our project. We already defined the time frame of the project and key milestones and initiatives. First, we need to create projects and initiatives in Jira. In this example, projects represent teams and epics in the project represent key initiatives and milestones. Take all initiatives you defined in Project Canvas and add them to Jira as epics. Once this is done, we can go to Swanley and start planning. You can access Swanley from the main Jira navigation menu under the Apps tab. First thing you will need to do when you come to Swanley is to decide which view you would like to use, if issues or releases. Because I created my initiatives as epics, I will go with issue view. I need to import the projects in Swanley, and then I'll be able to see projects as the swim lanes on the timeline together with the issues I created here under the Add Issue panel. Before I go into actually scheduling initiatives on the roadmap, there is one feature in Swanley that I can make use of to create my roadmap faster. I can use templates in Swanley to create stages and also assign their default duration. This will make my road mapping process much faster. It's actually not mandatory to use templates and stages when working with Swanley, but it's something many find useful when creating roadmaps with a top-down approach when the scope of the initiatives isn't yet clearly defined and estimated. In general, you can refer to your previous projects to see what were the average lengths of different stages and start from there. And now it's time to start scheduling your initiatives on the timeline. To schedule initiative on the timeline, I'll first open Add Issue panel where I can find all issues from my imported projects. There are also filters here if I need to find some specific issue. There are two ways I can schedule initiative on the timeline. I can either schedule by selecting the template I created earlier. If I define the default duration of stages, then after selecting the start date, the end date is automatically calculated together with dates for its stages. If I'm happy with the dates, I can add initiative on the timeline. You can also group your timeline by templates to get a different dimension to your project roadmap. Second approach is to just drag and drop issues on the timeline from the panel. This is a bit faster at start, but you don't make use of templates you created earlier. The length of the activity is predefined and depends on the zoom level you are currently in. After you create a roadmap, you can start assigning ownership over the initiatives. It's quite simple to do so in Swanley. Just click on the initiative on the roadmap and select the assignee from the report panel. Once you assign your initiatives, you can also group your timeline by assignee, or use an assignee filter to see the issues that belong to the certain owner. Now when you have your roadmap ready, you can start working with initiative owners on defining the scope. You can either create scope in Swanley directly, or you can define scope in Jira. Either way, scope will always appear in the Swanley activity report view in the real time. To go one step further, if your teams use any of the estimation methods like story points, complexity points, or time tracking in Jira, you will be able to track key activity progress based on its scope, aka child issues, from the Swanley report panel. The progress information gets updated automatically as your team moves their tasks through the delivery. That means that Swanley report view is always up to date and can be used for status updates for your stakeholders. You can easily share the report by clicking on the share button and send them the link for this report. Swanley, however, doesn't need to be used only as an issue timeline. You can also use it for release management. You can simply create cross-project release roadmap, manage cross-project releases, and get release reports to understand progress. I actually won't go too much into detail about release management aspect of Swanley, but if you're interested, come to our Jigsaw booth here on JiraCon and I can do a short demo for you there. So what are key differences between Swanley and advanced roadmaps? We get this question asked quite a lot, so I decided to include it here. You can achieve almost the same results using any of these tools. They are both made for project management and are great. However, there are two key differentiators of Swanley. Swanley is much cheaper and simpler than Advanced Roadmaps. Advanced Roadmaps are available on Jira Premium that costs $14.5 per user, as opposed to $7.5 per user for Jira Standard. Of course, Jira Premium comes with other features like advanced security and Jira administration, but if you would be switching to Jira Premium only to get cross-project roadmaps, that would be quite expensive fun. Swanley, on the other hand, starts at $1.5 per user and gets cheaper after you reach 200 users on your Jira instance. And that's quite a big difference, right? Second advantage of Swanley is that it's simpler. We wanted to make sure that anyone who comes to Swanley can understand what's the plan and what's the progress of the project. All changes that you do in Swanley are reflected in Jira in real time and vice versa, so your master plan is always up to date. And to create the reports, you don't need to do anything really, just simply click on the activity on the timeline and you have it. If you're looking for something simple, without too much admin overhead and setting up, and that won't cost you arm and a leg, then Swanley is the tool for you. Before I finish, let me just quickly mention what's coming to Swanley soon. We are currently finishing our work on drag and drop to allow you to reschedule activities that are already planned on the timeline without the need to open issue panel. And the next one in the row are hierarchies. We are looking at how to bring issue hierarchies into Swanley. We would appreciate any feedback in this area, so if you are in the need of hierarchical views in Jira to help you with project tracking, you can just stop by our booth and we can have a chat. I will be really happy to hear from you. And that's about it for this presentation about portfolio road mapping and project management in Jira for everyone. Thank you so much for sticking to the end. If you would like to chat more about what I just talked about or about anything related to project and product management, you can visit our Jigsaw booth where you can find me and our team. There is also a project canvas template from this presentation available for download, so definitely go check that out. Once again, thank you for attending this talk and don't miss out on the next ones that are starting at 1 p.m. Pacific time. Have a great day!